Hatch with the Tactics Talk. Welcome back. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Hope you have a fantastic day. Recently, I turned Assault back on. I had turned it off because I felt like it was not helping me with some of the missions. But it turns out, actually, just based on the way the game is played, it doesn't really hurt you too badly for most of the missions. You tend to get the same DPG, even though the logic for me was it's only 10 minutes. But there's still all the hit points to get, and generally, most of the tanks get killed in Assault. Now, I turned it back on because I had several people I was platooning with who had it on, and I've always said that it lets you look at the maps from a different angle, so that is a good thing. Now, I'm in my CC-67, trying to get up to the Assault position, and we've already lost an UDES and a Lynx 6x6. Turned it back on so I could get some more, I don't know, variety in the game. Well, it's off again. And this is why. And not necessarily just this one game, but we got a Cobra up here. I'm pushing up to the edges, trying to take these hills. This is Karelia. This is actually one of the better balanced maps in the game. It's pretty close for attack and defense. However, there are 6, I believe, Assault maps in the game. And they contain 3, I believe, of the worst defenders in map balance. I'm talking 8 to 10% difference in win rates for attack and defense. Not this particular map, but the mode in general has 3 of the worst. Only 2 of them are even close. And this one's actually probably the best of all of them in terms of win rate for the attackers and the defenders. But Assault can be extremely, extremely frustrating. This one's not too bad because we did not have 1/3 to 1/2 of the team camp on the sniper hill where the Patton is. We did manage to lose a Panther and a Nudez really quickly, and they got their scouts up underneath, and the G-Swords got that whole thing locked down. We are in a really bad situation right here, fellas. Really bad. Conqueror, CS-59, Centurion, Charfooter. These are the guys in the Patton tanks. These are the guys that kind of got to make things happen. And we've been stuffed on both hills, which is how you win, by the way, if you're defending. I've had a lot of videos on this in the past. It's been a long time since I've played an Assault and had a video for it, but I would show that the best way to win this map is either to take the 2 hills as the defenders or to defend the 2 hills as the defenders. And so the whole fight really is how these hills go. If one of the hills can get taken, the offenders have a huge advantage. If both of them can be taken, they have a massive advantage. But the purple team has done exactly what they need to do. They've controlled the middle enough that the hill is not a factor, where the Charfooter is. They are contesting both hills. They only have a couple tanks here, but they've got all the snipers in the back. And we don't have anybody forward, scout-wise, to light the guys down there. So really, this is just a slow massacre. I don't know if you noticed while I was talking, but the Tortoise got absolutely obliterated by a Cobra and a, what's the other thing? Caliban. Those massive auto-loading, goofy tanks, which doesn't have a whole lot to do with offense and defense. That was a bad shot. Oh, Tiger Mouse is here. We're down 0 to 5. So yeah, that was fun watching our, I tried to get into the front of the turret there, but I was aiming right at the mantlet, so predictable. And now I'm on my relatively long reload. Tiger Mouse is doing his thing. The Conqueror's getting shredded. Now we got super auto-loading monster tanks right there. I'm about reloaded. Can we make something happen? I don't know. I'm about to get sandwiched. Ah, here we go. Boom. Nope, crit. Into the crate. Oh, ow. Okay, yep, he's got another shot. Oh, wait. There we go. One more shot of damage, and that's all she wrote. Boom. Caliban. We haven't lost a tank. Or, sorry. We haven't killed the tank. We've lost all the tanks. We haven't killed the tank. So there you have it. I've turned Assault back off. And honestly, it's not this particular map or necessarily this particular team. You run into this. It happens in this game. I love this guy, too. This Progetto sat back here the whole time. This was fantastic. I like the T-32's positioning. He's in that little corner. Nothing this team did. Watch this guy as he attacks him. Auto-aim. Okay. I mean, I don't know. I might have auto-aimed, but these two, the Calvin and the Cobra with like the -2 second reload intra clip, where basically it shoots before the other one shoots. I don't know how it works like that, but I think it does. I think you shoot the first shell and then the other 3 shells have already fired, so you get killed back in time. So you're dead before you knew you were dead. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's how those 2 tanks work right there. Yeah, so like I said, I've turned it off mainly on the strength of the 3 maps that are absolutely atrociously imbalanced. Well, you know what? Let's just take a look at it, fellas. Bear with me while I get this set up. Professional would have been already ready with this and had a script and all that good stuff, but we can get there pretty quickly. It's not that hard, all right? It's not that difficult to do. We'll do NA, we'll go to there, and let's see. I don't know what I'm doing. What is happening? Is that going to work? No, yes. Hey, check it out. All right, look at this. These are the assault maps. Now, this is NA. This is not all of the data. It's the data that this site has available to it, but it's a significant chunk of data, so I'm assuming it's pretty close. Assuming, right? Look at this. We were just on Karelia, so that's not bad. 51 to 48. Oh, okay. Look at this one. 46 to 53 on Steeps. Ghost Town, 47 to 52. Siegfried, 55 to 44. So those 3, atrocious. These 3, pretty close. I mean, these are what you want to see, in my opinion anyway, from balance-wise for different maps. We go over to EU, more or less the same story, although Ghost Town is a bit closer, I would say, on EU, but Steeps is a disaster, Siegfried Line is a disaster. If we go to, what is this called? What is this called? Help me. Encounter. We go to Encounter, you can see some other bad ones. Lakeville, atrocious, 53 to 46. Ensk, 44 to 54. So I don't want to get into a diatribe here, even though I already have, about imbalanced maps. But it's pretty significant, at least on NA, to look at that and go, 50% of the assault maps are absolute disasters, and you are completely gimped if you get on one side or the other. That's just number 1 item. Then you got to worry about matchmaker, then you got to worry about skill level of your teams, then you got to worry about, this is something that's not necessarily talked a lot about, and we're kind of delving off into other areas here, but expectation management is important, and that's something I've recently snapped back on after watching a few people and talking about it a bit, is that there's 30 players in each one of these random matches, and they all have different objectives, which may not be winning. So it's hard to know. Even if you get a team of really good players, you could have a couple players, they're not having a great day. They're off. They're actually just trying to do a mission. The possibilities are absolutely endless. So you've got map positioning, as we can see right here, right? Whether you are offensive or defensive or which spawn you're in. So spawn, map or spawn, mode, that's important. You've got matchmaker, just purely the tanks that are chucked in there. General skill level of the team and the players. And then what are the objectives of the relative players or the various players in there? You know, and any one of those things can look good on paper, but then be skewed by some of the other situations. I think that's why the game is good, because it is just very extremely variable. You just kind of never know what the heck is going to happen. You have a general idea of what the meta flow should be, but the meta flow and randoms can be wildly thrown off by all of those things. So if you're trying to solve for some of the variables, one of the variables you can do is decide which kinds of games you play. And I know a lot of people only play the standard mode. They don't even play Encounter. I happen to like Encounter, but there are some imbalanced tanks on Encounter, as you can see, as we saw up here. But this one, Assault, because it's just so painful if you're on attack, especially this map is a great example. You're on the attack and you get half the team up on the sniper hill, just as an example. And you've got 50% of the maps that are really imbalanced. So I turned it off. That's kind of where I am. You know, if we go to Encounter, yes, there are some here, but notice that there's a lot of Encounter maps and not a lot of them, not 50% anyway, are completely imbalanced. So 40, this one is, if I'm seeing green and dark red, that's kind of where I'm starting to get worried. 54 to 45, you got to be shitting me. 54 to 44, atrocious. 53 to 46, 44 to 54. Terrible. So anything with these numbers should probably be removed, to be honest, as a mode. Now, if we look at randoms, you don't find too many bad ones. Well, you got Mountain Pass. This is a special case. We've now gone on to map balance discussion. We've talked about this on Coffee Talk as well. Mountain Pass, they tried to fix, and they made it absolutely worse. This shouldn't even be in the game. Honestly, tomorrow, today, in 10 minutes, yesterday, a week ago, this should be taken out of rotation. Because it's just completely gimping one side or the other. I mean, that's just not... That is the definition of unfair. The absolute definition of unfair. And it's not something I throw out lightly for Wargaming, because I get it. The way the matchmaker's set up, the way the game is played, sometimes it really feels unfair, all the random, the dispersion, the RNG. But you've built a map that the meta has proven is an unfair, boom, solid, period, unfair situation for your players, and you leave it in. That's bad, guys. That's bad. This one's not far off. Province, 44 to 54. That's a low-tier map. I don't see it much because I don't play my 6s and 7s a whole lot. The good news is that a lot of these are pretty close. 50 to 48, 49 to 49. I mean, these are great. These are within the margins of error. This one's getting a little gross, 47 to 52. But even this one, all right, not terrible, but my goodness, 55 to 42. And it's still in the game. All right. A lot of tangents there, guys. We went on a lot of tangents. But there you go. I have turned off Assault for all of those various reasons. Just kind of a gaming experience I don't want to deal with. So it's nice that they let you turn it off, but it's back off until they solve some of the imbalance issues. When 50% of the maps in a mode are imbalanced and gimp the player just based on the random side you're given, no thank you. No thank you. I'm turning that garbage off. All right, that's all I've got. Let me know what you think down below. Do you have them all on? Do you have some of them on? Which ones do you have on and why? That's all I've got. See you guys.